Hello and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekend show. I'm Mal Lee, your host for this evening, and as I say every other evening, well, this weekend it looks like I really am on my own. So thank you very much indeed for joining us. We're going to be chatting about grassroots football, how your day went, and as I say, I hope you enjoyed last night's show, because we didn't have the young commentators there. They all booked the day off, if you like, and they probably gallivanted out somewhere, or it was extra special warm, wasn't it? Well, really, was it? Because it was cloud and it was really hot, and we got the fans on once again, so if you can hear them, I apologise, but I need to keep cool. Anyway, if you've had your football today, well, we'd love to hear about it. Whether you're a manager, parent, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, we want to hear about it. Committee member, or a referee, or even a coach. We want you to feed us back, positive or negative. How did your games go? mal@don'ttexttheline.com. Get in touch with us. We'd love to hear, because I think it's about time that we did hear off referees how their games went, what leagues they were in, what the teams were like. And you know, if you want to get things off your chest, obviously if you want to remain anonymous, that's entirely up to yourself, because we would, and I repeat, we would not mention your name if you didn't want to, but we could read out a report that you're giving in. You won't have to mention the teams, we'll just say what has gone on, and we just mention it as well. But one thing I would like to do, emphasise before we go on to that, in the grassroots football, is one of the grandsons, my grandsons, is, I've just heard that he was in a team. I won't mention no teams, what have you, but everyone knows my pet hate about the way coaching and football has been run within grassroots football. You need a good coach, and there's many of them out there, and there is some poor coaches, and we've all come across them, regardless, in grassroots football. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Whether you've got all your level 1s, 2s, 3s, it doesn't mean that you are a super star of a coach, because you can get some bad habits as you go along within grassroots football, and some of them win at all costs. That's what it's all about, which we come across again over the years. Will that ever change? I doubt it very much. I don't think it'll change, because that's the way some coaches see themselves, as superstars, and they're building a team. But what they tend to forget is, I look back on my days, we were winning cups and things like that, but my days was all to give the kids a game of football. We enjoyed it, great to win. It was one of those things, if you lost, we're all disappointed, because, as we say, it is not just about winning, but it's also about developing the kids and their skills. We come across some great teams and some players who have made it in the big time with my lads, and you know what, none of them got big-headed. I didn't myself, because it was a game of football. And those kids who are dads themselves now, still I meet them, and referees, you know, the coaching kids, the supporting the kids, and they're into it. But what they always remind me of is the times that they enjoyed their time with me in the football team, because we done it right, we done it correctly, and if they were out of order, then they were told about it as well. To me, it's great, and I see loads of them. It's great to see them all working, all doing their own jobs, all being fathers, all supporting the kids, all coming across. Do you know what? They're absolutely outstanding, I tell you. And this is what we're saying about kids in football. Some coaches and parents, obviously, will come again to that one, can, I'd say, disrespect children. They have children in their team that they release, because a couple of times the child did not turn up for training. Under circumstances, they don't try to find out what the reason is. They just say, no, we want a better team, you know. Players are letting us down. They're not professionals, these are kids' teams. And unfortunately, kids do get sick. Something happens that mums and dads have to go elsewhere. And unfortunately, that child cannot, under safeguarding reasons, go, especially if they're 7 years of age, to football themselves. But to be told that there's no room in the team. This is my pet hate about grassroots football. This is what I'm trying to build DXTL Development Club up as, to try and give all the kids a game. If you've got a full team, there's not a problem, because kids will understand there's no room in that team, because you can have 100 kids in a football team. We know that. You can't promise them all game time. But the FA are trying to work out systems where kids can come on and off and develop themselves. You can see that all around. But there's still those managers and coaches out there who believe that the kids aren't good enough to get in their teams. You build a team. We built a team. We developed a team. They're coming in, they're coming good, and they'll play for other teams. We know that. That's what grassroots football is all about. You're not signed just to one team. Get out there, enjoy yourselves, develop your own skills. This is what we're all looking for. And the kids' parents have got to work with the club as well, because we know what happens. There's always animosity. My child's not playing for them because they only put the best players on, and my kid's not getting a game. And I think when teams are putting out low to middle to high players, sometimes I don't understand it, because kids football is kid football, and kids who develop, the way to do it is, if you get offered a friendly, just say they're a very, very strong team, and we don't want you coming up against us and putting 20, 30 goals against you. Can you take that on? I don't know. Is this the system that Liverpool, Everton are all using? I don't think so. It's just come up in grassroots football. It's popped up, and some of the coaches get really big-headed about it. Oh, you've got no chance of playing us, I'm sorry, and all that. Instead of being friendly and talking to other teams. We need to get some sort of system where kids can just go into a football team. So we're trying to do a development club, and I'll let you know more information about that with DXTL, not just for the whole world, just to build up players. We love to make it. We will make it. We make these kids, and we know we cannot promise every child a game of football, because there's that many, but also there's that many teams around and about who will take kids on. But you need the right coaches, because if you're a good coach, you can develop a player into some sort of player who's enjoying themselves and playing stronger than what they were being. That's what I want to see out of coaches. If you're good enough, you can develop any child. And it's no good just setting up a business and saying, I'm a good coach, there you go, I'll develop that child, you go and find your own team. No, try and develop those kids around your own team and show what you've done, and show the world that you are in it to develop the children. Most coaches will turn around and say they are, but as soon as that whistle goes on a Saturday or Sunday, in the parks, in the junior leagues, you'll see a different coach on the touchlines. It's win at all costs for the majority. Well, I don't know. I suppose that's 50-50. Giving the figures out. I'd love to hear your figures on it. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. mal@don'texttheline.com, because we want to get all this into perspective now. Chasing kids away from such a young age, from his friends who've been there because missed a couple of training sessions. Doesn't wash with me, doesn't, you know, you're either in or you're not. And if you've been playing for that team, there's always room. But no, they want to push the player out. If they're not good enough to bring in a player who they found, this will help us now, this player's strong. They don't realise what they're doing to these kids. Again, I want your thoughts on them. I know I can see coaches, I know what coaches I'm talking about. I've been in it, wore the t-shirt for many, many years, and I look around and I watch you coaches and I watch you players, I watch committees, I talk to committees, I talk to everyone, keep most of it to myself, but you know what? I could do a brilliant scouting job, not blow my own trumpet, been in it for many years, I know what to look for, I know the system, know how it works, I know the system inside out when it comes to running football clubs, running football teams. That's why I'm in it. Not to win it, I'm in it to develop And that's what I want to see out of the club, and you will see a lot going on with Don't Cross the Line over the future. We want to make it into a club which is unique, which is different, and I've got all the plans there ready, and I've got people who have seen the plans who are coming on board with us because they want what we can offer, and that's what they're going to get. So I'd love to hear from you managers, what do you think, what's your thoughts about how you can keep kids into football teams. And at that age there's got to be a lot more games. Does it have to be a league? Can it not just be friendlies? Teams who haven't got games can play in friendlies. Let's develop something in a system where all kids have a fair crack at the whip and have a run in a team. And if there's not in that team, I know it's hard to find coaches, managers. This is where the FAs can step in. This is where we need to attract more coaches, more managers, not just your referees, because kids are coming left, right and centre, and their age group, they're looking for teams, and you'd have to look on social media to see how many mums and dads are up there trying to find a team for their child. And you know, managers will snub them, coaches will snub them when they say the child hasn't played. They're supposed to be coaches to develop the kids. That is what football is all about. Development. Could it not be development, or is it? Come on, give us your thoughts, coaches, managers. I'd like to know what your routines are, what your beliefs are when it comes to the kids in football, and how you can develop them, and how you can give them all a game of football. And I'm sure I'll get many coaches contacting me. And I'm not just talking Merseyside, I'm talking right across the nation. No one's knocking the coaches, no one's knocking the managers. We just need to find these kids' football teams. Let's all work together and show, well, you can't just let that kid go, leave that kid without finding them somewhere else to play if they want to. And to be honest, it's going to be hard because they've got friends in there, so the child is going to be upset as well as the parents first and foremost. So we need to look at some sort of system. How can we keep that child playing football? Because I know his mum's a little bit distraught now, because he keeps asking, when can he go to football? What is the answer that the mum can give? What is the answer? Yes, we know she will look for a team, but he's mentioning players by name that he played with. How do you break it to that child that he's not in the team anymore? When one day he's probably going to see them, come across them and think, why have I gone from the team? What have I done wrong? Child's done nothing wrong. First and foremost, that's what we have to realise, coaches, managers. Anyway, thoughts be with you. You can give them back to me, and let's get on with what you think about the grassroots football side of things. But everyone to their own team, I suppose, and what they do. But let's find out a way, a system that we can keep these kids playing, because they will be distraught even at 6 years of age. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now we talk about referees there as well. Mums and dads, sideline behaviour. Referees, we need your information, because all we see on social media is the referees, forum groups, things like that, slating parents, slating whoever's running this, how the referees are being treated. But you get the odd referee who will come on and tell you their story. If it's really that bad, I think every referee should be telling their story so we can tell it. So get in touch with us, mal@don'texttheline.com. As I say, don't have to mention your name. Give a blank name if you want to. Teams, we'll just inform, like I've just told you the story there about the child. We can tell the story in a sense, and we can get feedback on what you think. Now, we can also talk to some of these leagues and some of the teams as well and get things done. If you are taking verbal abuse, aggressive behaviour, and it's worrying you that you want to walk away from the game, we just don't want to see these people publicising it and saying this is what's happened to our referees, let's protect them, we want more protection. We need to get more stories. Yeah, we'll see 1, 2, 3 stories, not every story, and every team can't be that bad. Let's see the positive, let's hear the positive from your referees as well. Give the positive feedback if you've got no negativity. We want to hear it, and we want to allow you, the listeners, the watchers, to see and hear what we're talking about. and give the referees the credit where they're due, give the teams the credit where it's due, the committees. We want positive feedback. If the negativity comes in there, the negative feedback comes in, we'll publicise that as well, because we want to stop it. We just don't want to see everyone getting slated and this is what's happened. We know things will happen. We know it hurts everyone when a referee walks away from a game. We campaign a lot, no referee, no game. Respect, don't bully the referee, no sideline referees. That's what Don't Cross the Line is all about. And that's how we've been doing this. Since 2003, we've been bringing people together. We don't want to hear them being slated. We don't want to hear of them being slated. Coaches, managers, everyone's got a voice, everyone's got a chance to speak. We want that chance to come through us, and we'll give you that opportunity. Even if you want to come into the studio, if you're local, come into the studio, give us some feedback, we'll read out your story, because we want to hear about positive and negativity within grassroots football, especially now with these summer leagues, tournaments, friendlies going on. What is the positive feedback you get? Now, when I go out and about on touchlines and I'm talking to referees or managers or coaches and parents, they give me some feedback, slight feedback that they heard now and again of a game, now and again, not every 2 minutes, the way some portray it, as if it's every single referee getting it in the neck and they need some action done. We all know we need action doing now, but let's work together as a team and let's prevent it. Let the leagues know what's going on, because many of those leagues out there, do take action and they don't get the credit that they deserve. They're always slated, or teams are slated, but the leagues act and never get the praise. We need these leagues to get involved with us as well, and we need you to praise those leagues and referees and managers and coaches who are doing a positive job out there. Let's get the positivity through within grassroots football, because it's not all about negativity or negative football, because some of the kids out there as well, the teams are brilliant, and you'll see it now and again. I think every referee should speak up on how their game was. They can even do it through me, feedback, and come, Mal, do you know what, those two teams, and I can give them praise, because that's what makes the kids, the managers can then in turn give it back to the feedback back to the parents and the children as well. Make a difference in grassroots football. Give it yours, positive or negative feedback, to myself, mal@don'txtheline.com. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites, and we can discuss it through that. Now, tomorrow's show we'll talk about what's happened in the River tournament, and I'll give you my feedback, what it was like out and about being there, because on the Sunday we have a girls tournament as well, and I'll find out who's running that one, and we have a couple of tournaments, and I'll give you some publicity if you want to as well. Just get in touch with me, let me know what's going on. But we want to hear more from you referees, please. Not just on social media and private messages. I get a lot of private messages. I'd like to hear your stories, and I'd like to hear your feedback about the positive teams, so I can make a nice list and I can do a nice score. And just incidentally, just before we go, I'd like to mention yet again about the parachute, now the skydive that we're doing, and if you could fund us, that'd be brilliant. It's on our GoFundMe page, DXTL Heart of Gold Initiatives. Look for it, please fund us, and just send in as much as you possibly can to help us help children suffering from mental health issues, and also disadvantaged children who are struggling, trying to get into football teams. And we're teaming up with some people there that you'll hear about from us as from next week. So give us that positive feedback. Referees, we want your information. We want you to give us the positivity or negativity that you're feeling week in, week out. And if you want to name yourselves, that's brilliant. Fine by us, we'll name you. But you don't have to. Many may be worried about giving the information to us because we'll name them. We'll never ever do that, I assure you. And then we can get teams looked into if it's that bad for you. Or we can go down and monitor them ourselves. and give the feedback to what we find to our local county FAs. But committees first. We'll always deal with the committees. We'll never go behind their backs. Thank you very much again for tuning into the Grassroots Show. We'll be back again tomorrow around about 7 p.m. for our third and final Grassroots football show. So please join us. And in the meantime, put your feet up, relax, have a great time, watch a film, enjoy your weekend off if you've got a weekend off. And we'll be back again tomorrow at 7. So for myself, Matt Lane, all the team at the Grassroots Show, Don't Cross the Line, Respect campaign, and our Hearts of Gold initiatives. We wish you all the best. See you tomorrow at 7. Good night, God bless.